Hi everyone, my name is Kate Montserrat and I am a co-founder and director at Simplify Consulting. We're a management consultancy business operating in financial services and really passionate about International Women's Day and supporting justice for all in terms of women across the globe. I am absolutely delighted to be joined by Kirsty Chabert. She's a really good friend of mine and an amazing athlete and horse rider, and we're going to be talking a little bit about gender, and all of that good stuff in terms of her life and her professional career. So, welcome, Kirsty. Um, would you mind giving us a little bit of an intro about you and kind of your background and career?
I can. I was thinking about this earlier, and it's a little bit like that old TV program, isn't it? With Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be. uh, what am I going to be today? So, who am I? I am Kirsty Chabert. I professionally am an event rider.
Mhm.
I've also got a 7-year-old son, Henry, and my main, I guess, one of my main passions is coaching and mentoring people in the equestrian world.
Amazing.
Lots of hats.
Lots of hats. And in terms of eventing, for those who aren't particularly horsey, would you mind just giving us a very quick description of what that actually entails?
So in a layman's terms, I guess the horse is a triathlete or a pentathlete. So we're training the horses to be able to do the dressage, which is the fancy leg moving, then the show jumping, which is jumping the coloured sticks that fall down, and then the cross country, which is solid wooden fences that don't fall down. So it's kind of a way of life, career, I suppose. It's something that we haven't got an age limit to. We're always going to get better, and we're always learning about the horses and the sport in general. So it's not something that you could say, right, once we're 21, we're too old and we're not able to do it. It's definitely not an age limiting career.
Mm. And that's really interesting, actually, because I think a lot of careers, especially in financial services, women tend to drop out as they get older because of things like the menopause, where they can't cope, say, with a senior role. Whereas it sounds a little bit like, you sent me some stats earlier, didn't you? That it's
Yeah.
actually quite a female-dominated industry, which I didn't quite appreciate. So 78% of British eventing members are female, 67% of the board are women, and 93% of youth program members are female. I mean, that's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it surprised me yesterday, to be honest, when the stats came through. The only thing what they haven't put on there is what is the percentage of women at the upper levels.
Hmm.
When we start to get the demand of the training and all the other aspects of life, motherhood, and yes, 100% the menopause too, as an athlete, is going to come into play. Menstrual cycle, everything as a female is a big part of training and kind of our well-being as well to it. So it's a stat I would like to know, actually, for the upper level, is what percentage is still female at that sort of higher part of the pyramid rather than the
Yeah.
wide base.
Yeah, and actually, it's really interesting you said yesterday, because I was reflecting that the sport that you compete in, men and women compete completely on the same level, don't they? So
Yeah.
you jump all the same fences, you complete the same courses. There is no male female difference at all. It comes down to the horse, doesn't it, and the relationship with your horse and all of that good stuff. But you quite rightly mentioned that actually a complete disadvantage for women in general in sport is menstrual cycle, and having to tackle the time of the month before that, after that, and the different how it actually impacts your body as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I think we are actually one of the only sports in the world for men and women to compete on an equal term,
Mm,
which is phenomenal in so many good things.
yeah.
Um, I would say your only difference nowadays, in years back when my dad was doing it, everybody had to carry the same weight. Now we don't carry the same weight, so you could almost say that the lighter, smaller females might have an advantage. if you put that into racing terms, your lighter weight is quicker, effectively.
Yeah.
And then you think, for us, like, how do we manage the menstrual cycle? I said to you, I have a completely irregular cycle. It'll come on with stress. It comes on with all other things that everybody will know. It's what happens. It's just life. And then you might be going to one of the biggest competitions in the world, and you know you're due on, or you weren't expecting to be on. You're in white breeches. You're supposed to be, you know, fine. I'm not embarrassed by it at all. I'll talk about it all day long. But there are going to be a lot of ladies that do get embarrassed by it, or more to the point, younger kids that it's all still really new to, and how do they deal with the cramps that you get, your mood swings. And we can't turn a computer off. Like, we can't. So we have to try and make sure we stay level for the animals. They've got the most incredible intuition that they'll feel everything from us too. So you there's loads of, like, you can talk about the menstrual cycle non-stop and how it's going to affect us. It makes your ligaments looser, doesn't it? It's did we sleep well the night before? We're really restless. That pain in the lower part of your back. I only know when I'm due on because I get the same pain. I'm sure I bite my husband's head off 2 days before, and I have a craving for hot chocolate. So I'm like, okay.
And how do you manage that? So do you do anything differently in terms of your regime or anything depending on the time of the month, or do you just basically try and ignore it?
To a degree, we have to ignore it because we do, I guess. If we paid to go to a competition, we've got owners supporting us, we've got sponsors there, and we've still got to be able to deliver. I think if we're able to, in the quieter season between the end of October and March, physical training for us, or do you know what, just give yourself a bit of a break. Not every day do we need to operate at 200%. And certainly I've got a lot of young girls that work for me, and you have got to be empathetic with the fact that it's something we all go through. So you can't expect everybody to be at 200%. You can tailor it. You can go, instead of maybe going for a big run that day, you could do some yoga, or actually just sit in front of the telly with a hot water bottle and chill out for a couple of hours and not give yourself a hard time. It's okay.
Yeah, definitely. And just wanted to ask you about your coaching, mentoring, actually, which you spoke about at the beginning. And in our industry, we talk a lot about something called imposter syndrome. So it's mainly women who think that they're perhaps not good enough to maybe go for that promotion, or they're not worthy enough to go for that opportunity. And that really results in then less women going for more senior positions. So financial services quite male dominated, and quite male dominated from a seniority perspective. From your point of view, in terms of coaching and mentoring, do you have this concept of imposter syndrome in your industry? Have you ever come across it? Does it impact girls more than boys? What's your experience?
I think I probably experienced that more being the student to somebody else being my coach or mentor inside. I've been involved in a big organization within the eventing community, and there was definitely parts when I was a part of that you felt a slight imposter syndrome. I suppose I'd had Henry, he was a couple of years old. You got to get back into breeches, you're supposed to be fit and looking healthy and everything else. And I think if we don't feel good internally about ourselves, it's really hard to then sort of give off a vibe that we're super confident on the outside. So that imposter syndrome comes in a different way. That for me, it would be not feeling 100% confident internally. I like to be fit, and I don't like to be a couch potato. I thrive off stress and a little bit of fast pace.
Yeah.
And the minute that something's changed or you lack purpose, it's so easy for you to think the person next to you is better, or the person coming up behind, well, they deserve my place because they've managed to jump that jump better, or their horse has got a shinier coat. It's such an easy thing to take a step back and go, do you know what, you can have my spot today. Whereas if I was to feel really great and so confident internally, nobody is having my spot. Like, I'm having that spot, and everybody's coming with me, and we're going to go on a journey. But that mind over matter bit, or the mental preparation of being able to do that, is really difficult. I think that's a job in itself, is trying to manage our brains and stay focused. So if I think of myself as being the student and now I'm becoming the coach and the mentor, I want to be able to recognize those points in my pupils, to be able to try and bring them out of their shells on those days where you can see that the confidence isn't quite as high as it should be. And then on other days you can actually turn it the other way, and perhaps you need to just remind them that confidence is amazing, but let's back it up with the performance as well.
Yeah. Thank you. And I think you mentioned at the start as well, which hat you've got. So you're obviously a business owner, professional rider, an athlete, wife, mother, amongst many other things as well. How do you manage to balance it all? What techniques kind of work for you in terms of?
I don't know. I think it's a support network around is probably the most important thing. I don't think there's a certain one way of doing it. I think everybody's got to muddle through, and I think the word muddle is probably a really appropriate word for all of us. Because let's face it, if Henry's poorly, I want to be looking after him. I don't want to hand him off to somebody else. That's the mummy part to us, that actually we want to be a part of our kids' lives. I struggle with time, I suppose. I think that's probably the hardest thing, which everybody will have the same feelings about, of not maybe dedicating enough time towards our kids, or perhaps husbands. Probably more. I think I put Henry in front of spending husband time. It's difficult for them too, isn't it? Because pre-kids, they were the excitement, and we found time for them, and then suddenly the kids come along and they're our priorities. So I think that juggling act of having a good support network behind, that you can trust the person to pick up Henry from school, or I have a cleaner just to come home on a Friday and to have a nice tidy house, is just something that makes me take a nice big deep breath, rather than coming back home and knowing that I've left chaos all week, or come from a show. It's just daft things, isn't it, that find you take that little bit of just a bit of grounding and a bit of time to kind of go, actually, I've appreciated all the bits I've done in my day today, and somebody else can help with the other bits.
Definitely. And in terms of the season coming up, so for people that don't know, eventing season starts fairly soon.
A couple of weeks.
And the most famous show is badminton, which I'm sure loads of people have heard of, and Kirsty has competed. How many times at badminton?
A few.
Which is amazing. An absolutely amazing achievement. And I was reading actually that you have competed at all of the European 5-star shows. It's just, is it the Australian one that you haven't competed at? Is that right?
You may well be right there.
I did my research.
Thanks.
So what is coming up for you this season? What are you most looking forward to?
I think the season, so I had a good couple of years previous being in the top 20 in the world, and then just had a bit of a setback through injuries myself and horses last year. So my first bite-sized goal, if you want to call it anything, is just to build a strong team. I would really like to think about an Olympics at some point. I said earlier, the sport's not restricted on age. But as you said, we're going to go through the menopause and our bodies do change. So there is a burning desire to do something pretty cool.
Mhm.
but at the same time, we have to prepare ourselves and the horses, and it's sort of an age. Things have to be the right age to be able to be produced at the right time. So this year's plan is to build the string, and then hopefully have a couple of really nice shows towards the end of the season. We'll probably head to Blenheim with an exciting, some exciting 8-year-olds, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. And just a final question for you, Kirsty, which I've asked many people now, is what piece of advice would you give your younger self? And it could be anything.
How young?
Hmm. Late teens,
Late
early 20s?
Oh, I loved my early 20s. What would we say? To be fair, I've really enjoyed all parts of life growing up. I think probably allowing yourself time to reflect on everything you do along the way and everything I've achieved is probably something I still don't do now.
Mm.
And maybe that's something that grows with confidence too, is actually just sitting back and being, you know what, you have achieved a lot this year, and just take a minute to reflect on what we've done.
Yeah.
And if you want something, you've got to fight through tooth and nail and work so blooming hard for it.
Mm. That is brilliant advice. Well, I wish you all the success in the world for this season. Obviously, be coming and watching many a time. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me, Kirsty. It was great to chat to you.
Thanks.